While on the ice, Sidney Crosby and Ian Cole are students of the game. Prior to playing the Caps in early November, the two were students of aviation at the Smithsonian National Air and Space Museum, Stephen F. Udvar-Hazy Center in Virginia.
Probably goes back to when I was in school, and you're doing different things for history and things like that. And I got to interview some veterans back home at the hospital in Halifax, so I just took a lot of interest in it. There was a lot of men and women from different fields there.
Hundreds of air and spacecraft have called this facility home since its opening in 2003. With over 700,000 square feet to work with, imagine the history that can be unfolded for each and every visitor. Crosby and Cole only had an hour, though they made every second count.
People have a general understanding of aviation and the significance of the history, but when they hear the stories of the people that made history in those artifacts, people just get really jazzed up. By 1908, the Wright brothers have a two-seat aircraft. In 1903, they're laying on the wing, shifting their weight. Now you've got a two-seater. And you see all the wires between the wings? That's how they twisted the wingtips. Using that stick right there, they would twist the wingtips and roll the airplane.
The Wright brothers are pretty gutsy to go up in that thing. It was cool to see up close.
I don't even know what to call it, like a series of wires to turn the plane, and it's basically just wood and fabric. Like, it's just that whole concept that you could actually fly with that is crazy.
When they were dropping the atomic bombs, they were told you have to use the Norden bomb sight. Can you see the eyepiece right there? That's the Norden bomb sight right there. And the bombardier who's sitting right in that seat is told, can you see that? The bombardier is told as he's sitting in that front seat, if you can't see the target visually, you cannot drop the bomb.
That was pretty cool to hear him explain that. The amount of pressure that must have been on that crew that day must have been incredible. So, just to kind of hear all those little facts that you might not typically get was pretty cool.
This is the SR-71 Blackbird. It is still the fastest airplane to ever fly, 3 times the speed of sound, 85,000 feet.
It looked fast just standing next to it when it wasn't moving. That's how fast it sure is. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those things you see and you can just be like, wow, like this looks fast, and I can imagine that it is even faster in real life.
The defenseman was amazed by the plane that flew from DC to LA in just over an hour, though the Space Shuttle Discovery caught his eye as well.
Unbelievably big. I mean, we stood by, at the back of it, those thrusters where you could have gotten stood in those thrusters and you couldn't have touched the top. I mean, it was pretty incredible, the size and the sheer scale of the whole thing.
This is the F-14 Tomcat. You familiar with this baby? Mainstay defender of the Navy for the United States for 30 years and was used in Top Gun. That's the airplane.
Tanger always talks about wanting to go up in a fighter jet. I don't know if I have the guts to, if ever given the opportunity, but it's probably as close as I'll get to one. But to be able to see the one that, kind of similar one that they had in the movie was cool.
Carboni, who went to school at Duquesne University and is a Penguins fan, has yet another reason to cheer for Crosby and Cole.
Both of them had really good questions. Yeah, I was impressed with both of them, their knowledge, their interest. I could tell that Sid wanted to spend a whole lot more time in the space hangar. He really didn't want to leave there.
Did you go back?
Oh yeah, I would go back. I would need the exact same guide. He did such a good job. I mean, just all the things, kind of the hidden facts that you didn't know. It's fun to see it up close, and then have someone explain it like that makes the experience even better.